So, do you have yourself a great idea, a wonderful idea? Now you're going to be rich because of this great idea. You're going to be rich and famous. Everybody's going to love you. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that. It doesn't work that way for a lot of reasons. The main reason is anybody can have an idea, and everybody can think it's great. Everybody thinks their ideas are great. That's probably our pride speaking to us. They might be, and they might be great ideas. They might be things that, if brought to fruition, would benefit the world. But it takes more than an idea. It takes a lot more. What do they say? What's the rule? 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration? That's probably on the low side. It's probably 9,999.9999% perspiration. It takes a lot of effort to move the world. In one of our latest videos, we did a look into what would happen if Thomas Edison actually didn't continue his hard work. If he gave up because he had failed so many times, what would have happened to the rest of the world? And yes, it's pure speculation. And yes, there's eventually a light bulb would have been created. But how many days did Edison buy us by creating that light bulb? Just think of the monumental moment in life when you could have consistent light at night that didn't require the burning of wood or other things, oil. You could have light. You could do work at night. You could live at night. And that's what we're talking about, moving the world. So even if somebody else would have eventually created the light bulb or some variant of the light bulb, how much longer will it have taken? And imagine Thomas Edison, if he stopped doing it, other people would look and say, hey, people have tried this. This is a loser's game. You're trying to make a light bulb, but you're trying to catch fire. Essentially, you're trying to catch fire inside something and control it. It's just not possible. Eventually, through much, much, much hard work, past the moment of inspiration, incredible hard work it took to actually take that idea and move it. And I guarantee you, at the time, there were at least a few other people out there who had the same similar idea. But he was the one who did it. He was the one who got it up and running. Was he the first person? Probably not. But he did enough to get it so that we could use it. We could use the lights. We could be the ones that took advantage of this inspiration and, more importantly, his perspiration. So yes, it is difficult. Terrible driver. Yes, it's an incredible situation where these ideas bounce out there. I've had incredible ideas. I've had ideas that years later people put together and created big businesses. Am I somehow a genius for coming up with these and having other people put it all together and me having nothing to do with it? Of course not. Just another guy with an idea. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person who just had the idea. I want to be the person who actually created, who helped something be created that was useful to the world, helping the world take a step forward, half a step forward. These things can be amazing. So you always say you have to look at things realistically. What's going to take to get this idea off the ground? Well, it's going to take probably a million steps, a million small steps to get to where you want to be. And depending on where you are in life will determine, how those steps should be taken. You might have an incredible idea for a movie, but you've never written a movie before. You've never directed a movie before. You've never acted in a movie. You've never done anything in the movie industry, but you have an incredible movie idea. So what are the odds that it's an actually good idea? Very well could be, but there's a lot of steps you can take to get there. And in this wonderful world that we live in presently, There are a lot of tools out there to help you get. There are things out there to help you write a script. There are things out there to help you make videos. It's up to you to take that idea and move it along. You know, maybe you're a little bit rich, maybe you got some money, you're relatively wealthy, but you can afford to go and hire people to do things for you couldn't do yourself, or that you just don't have the time to do. They have some advantage. So that's what we're talking about today. Taking those ideas and moving the needle. You know, maybe it's just your world it moves. Maybe it's just the people around you that get better from it. Let's start. It's a start. It's not. It's not easy to move 7 billion people. It's not easy, but you move a little piece of it as much as you can. You move it along. You move it to the next level. You do what you have to do. So what can you do? What can you do with these ideas? You know, they have an incredible invention. These chatbots, AI chatbots. You can get it. Bing has one through ChatGPT 4. You've got Google Bard. You've got there's a few other ones out there. They use them, find them, figure out which ones you like. Use them for different things. Some of them are better than others at things. You use them, you figure it out. You can ask them very simple questions. Hey, I have this idea. I want to see what steps do I need to take to bring it to life. And yes, it's going to give you an incredibly rough outline because it's impossible. It's impossible to know all the steps right now, today, especially if the idea is grand at all. It's more than, I have a wonderful idea. I'm going to wake up and go to work today. Okay, I think we figured that one out. Even that one can get dirty every once in a while, right? We all know that. Life just isn't as simple as we all want it to be. It's one of these things that we're rubbing up against each other. It's a lot of friction. We're rubbing up against nature. It's a lot of friction. And, sometimes we're rubbing up against our own self, our own doubts, our own insecurities about what needs to be done, what should be done. And so, at the end of the day, put it together. Put it together. Take those steps. Start seeing what steps you can take. What's realistic? What isn't realistic? But don't think having the great idea is it. It is merely a step. It's just a step, and hopefully it's not the first step. Hopefully you have some experience and all these other things that you can utilize to help you along the way with this idea. But yeah, I said when I was younger, I used to come up with these ideas all the time. I thought it was so smart. And I would see them. Some of them come to life relatively quickly. But now it's not smart at all. It's not smart at all. What you need to do is you need to create the vehicle so you can bring these things to fruition, and whatever it may be. Like I said, and hopefully along the way you've created for yourself something to help you along the way. Whether that's just the ability to work for long periods of time, be productive. Imagine just being a productive person in a certain area, an extremely productive person. You're able to now transport that ability to something else, to transfer it to, whatever you like it to be, because you have instilled in you that hard work, that desire, that schedule, that framework for being productive. And that's what we talk about. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on work. And I know there's a lot of people out there in jobs that they just don't like. So you don't stop your productivity because of work. You've got to put everything forward and get yourself in a position. So when you find that thing that you want to do, when you find it, which look, it's not that hard to change what you're doing and turn it into something that you really want to do, can do, you need to do, feel like you need it. I need to do this. I need to create a light bulb. Just think about the light bulb moment. I mean, it's when people think about that, bing, like, okay, the light bulb's turned on and everything else is good now. It's just not the way it works. It's a little bit loony. I mean, that's what we kind of think of. Like this light bulb moment is going to change you, change your world. hopefully it does change you. Not going to change the world until you've put in the work, you've put in all the effort. It's unfortunate that, well, I don't know if it's unfortunate, it's just the way it is. You cannot just think of things. Now, with AI, we're getting to that point where you can sort of think of something and it's taken a bunch of the steps for you. It's done a lot of the research. It's done a lot of the work for you, and it's going to continue to do more of the work for you. That's the revolution that's coming. That's the revolution that's coming in the world right now. Is we're going to be able to just think of something, and then AI will do a lot of it for us, a lot more and more and more for us. That's the wonderful world where we've inherited from all the hard work in the past is bringing us to this point in the world where that inspiration isn't going to take so much perspiration to bring to life. And you can see that. And you can see that, but I think it's still going to be required that you put in some effort, right? Because someone else is going to put in the effort. Your idea will only be as good as your abilities to bring it to life and to flesh it out and to make it something the world truly needs. It's you find these people with inventions that they get patents for and they have nothing to do with it, anything. And they somehow figure out a way to sue these companies because, oh, we've thought of that 10 years ago on a product that had zero sales. And now those people I don't have a great deal of respect for, but that's part of the system. Part of the system we exist in, and it's something we got to deal with. But anywho, inspiration, wonderful thing. Hard work, thoughtfulness, using the machine that you are, putting together the action plan, actually doing the things required. That's what you're going to do now. Once you have your idea, say, I don't have any ideas, go ask ChatGPT, go ask Google Bard, go ask Microsoft Bing, go ask your friends. There's a lot of ideas out there. Just make it happen. It doesn't have to be an original idea. It can be something that, hopefully something that you're already good at, something that you can get good at. So when you're ready, you'll be ready. When that idea comes up, when you have that Edison moment, you'll be able to have those 10,000 failures and then come out on top. It's a funny thing. You look at Edison and his failures, and there were a lot. They said he was worth about $170 million or so in today. So yes, failing, I think, is a general requirement. It's a general requirement for success. If you want to look at it as failing, it's something not working. All it is really a step. It's a step for you to take a necessary step so you know not what to do. I think that is a stolen Edison quote, basically. I found out the things I'm not supposed to do. Found out the things that don't work. Use your ideas. It's going to be a struggle. Bring them to life. Let's see what they are. Feel free to comment about things you're working on, and maybe there's somebody in the audience that can help you bring your dream to life. Thank you so much.